Welcome to our van. Today I'm going to give a bit of a walkthrough and a tour of the van, so let's get going. Hey everyone, just a quick introduction. My name is Joshua Wykes and I'm an adventure and landscape photographer. And my wife Lavinia and our dog Tilly and I are just about to set off on a pretty epic adventure. We are going to be moving into this van, living in it full time, traveling around North America for the next year and a half. We just recently picked up the van from Outside Van up in Portland, Oregon, who did the conversion for us. One of the great things about working with Outside Van is we got to play a pretty big role in the actual design. Everything that you're going to see in here is custom made, custom designed just for this van, specifically to the specs that we were wanting. When we thought about the design, there was a few things that were pretty important to us. First off, I'm 6'4", so pretty tall. So we wanted to make sure that the van could accommodate my height comfortably. This also is going to be our home. We're going to be living in this full time. And we wanted a place that we could really come back and relax after a long day on the trails, a long day on the road, and just feel comfortable, a place that we can call home. So come on inside, we'll take a bit of a tour and you'll see some of the specific things that we were thinking about. Let me talk about the chassis a little bit before we go do the walkthrough. It's a 2022 Mercedes 170 Sprinter cargo van that Outside Van converted. And Outside Van just did a great job on really the inner guts of the van, doing 3M Thinsulate insulation throughout, sound deadening material. You'll see the custom flooring. For the walls and the ceiling, we went with a material called Sil Leather, which is an alternative to leather. Really easy to clean, has a bit of an elegant look. So we're really happy with just the look and the feel of the van. When we were thinking about the design of the kitchen galley, there was a couple things that were important to us that we wanted to prioritize. First off is we knew we wanted a 2 induction stove cooktop, really just to give us the flexibility to be able to have 2 things cooking at the same time. To be able to get this though into the galley, we knew we needed a bit of a wider galley. This is actually 54 inches in width. But that extra width gave us a couple things. First off, a little bit more counter space up here to do some prep, but also allowed us to do some stuff down here below. One of the other things that was important to us was having a place where we could put the trash and the recycling out of the way. We worked with Outside Van on this solution, and really what this is, it's a under-the-counter pull-out trash compartment from Simple Human. Outside Van had to reconfigure it a little bit, but it works great, and it's going to keep the trash and the recycling out of sight, out of mind, and hopefully out of smell. For the kitchen sink, we wanted to do a deep rectangular sink and have a faucet that we could move around and pull down just to make dishwashing that much easier. Outside Van made this really cool cover that goes over the sink and actually serves 2 purposes. One is it can be used as a cutting board, but then second, it just gives us that much more counter space for prepping meals. So above the kitchen galley, we've got a couple cabinets that we'll use for storing our food and just, other goods that we're going to need for the kitchen. And then we also have here a small microwave. One of the other things that was important to us was having a drawer-style fridge and freezer. So we went with this Vitrifrigo option. And we're planning to use the top drawer for the fridge and the bottom drawer for the freezer. And we should be able to get 4 or 5 days worth of food in them. A couple other things just to highlight with the kitchen galley is we have some drawers to store our kitchenware, our plates and utensils. Should point out that all these drawers are soft close and have push button locks. Got a cabinet up here as well that we'll be able to keep some stuff in. So this is what we call the lounge. Although we fully intend to spend most of our time outside exploring, adventuring, doing photography, we knew we wanted a place at the end of a long day on the trails, a long day on the road, to be able to come back to the van and just have somewhere where we could kick back, relax, stretch out our legs. The way we thought about the design of the lounge is we wanted 2 different benches, one for me and one for Lavinia, although Tilly is starting to claim Lavinia's as her own. But you can think of these benches as almost like chase lounges. We wanted to be able to turn around, stretch out our legs on the benches, look out the window, just have a place we can relax. Plenty of space for me to stretch my legs. Lavinia's got plenty of room on her side as well. We can also use the lounge area as our dinette. There's a Lagoon table mount just down here by my feet. And so we can drop our table in, use it for our meals. We can also use it as a workstation for when we're wanting to be on our computers for editing and processing photos. And the cool thing is we can actually take the table and drop it down between these two benches, and we have an extra cushion and basically create a mini daybed. Lavinia can come over and sit on this side with me. We have a place that we can mount the iPad across from us, and we can just kick back and relax in the evening and watch some shows and some movies. Another option for the Lagoon table is we have another mount up by the passenger door near the front. And we can set it up like this and take the passenger seat and swivel it around and create another workstation. The Lagoon table just stores quite nicely between the driver's side seat and the kitchen galley. The back of the van is our bedroom, and this is actually a queen size bed that's pretty comfortable. I mentioned I'm 6'4" and it's plenty long for me. It's made up of 4 inches of foam with an inch of memory foam on the top. And the way it's designed, it's actually a platform that sits over the garage, and it's made up of 3 different panels, each of which can be easily removed. The mattress actually folds upon itself, and so we can remove, say for example, this last panel here, fold the mattress up, and then it just opens up the space here in the van quite a bit. So in the back here, above the bed, are a couple storage cabinets. They're called like an exoskeleton, so you know they're obviously completely open, and we're going to be using these to store our clothing. Packing cubes is the solution that we're going to go with, so we'll each get kind of one side, and pretty much all the clothes we own, for the most part, will be going above there. And this cabinet over here is actually what we're calling our media storage cabinet. So inside the cabinet, we're going to use this to store a lot of our electronics, charge a lot of our batteries for all of our gear, which we're going to have quite a bit of. Got several USB outlets there, got a 110 outlet. That black box that you see is actually our cellular modem router. I'm going to do a separate video on that, just to do a little bit more of an in-depth overview of the option that we decided to go with for our internet connectivity. It is all going to be cellular. That's a PepWave router. Those cables are leading up to an antenna that we have on the roof. We got 2 different SIM cards in the router there, one with T-Mobile and one with Verizon. I'll do another video. I'm going to do it probably a few months from now, after we've had some time on the road, just to test things out and see how it works. So as I mentioned earlier, I'm 6'4", and so you're probably wondering, does he actually fit in the van? The ceiling heights of Sprinters are about 6'3", so technically if I were to stand straight up, nope, not gonna work. But what I found is if I stand with just a slight bend, or even just with my legs a little bit far apart, I fit quite comfortably, and I actually don't notice it too badly. The AC is probably gonna be my nemesis, and I've already hit my head a couple times on it, but I'm sure I'll get good on ducking and navigating around that. Few other things to point out. Obviously, this is the air conditioning unit. We thought it was going to be pretty important to have air conditioning in the van, especially with this little thing. We knew there was going to be times where we're going to want to feel comfortable leaving her in the van and be able to run that. You know, our batteries are going to let us run that probably for maybe 4 or 5 hours. And that just gives us peace of mind. And also if we're somewhere where it's hot, it'll obviously give us a little bit more comfort having the AC. We have a max air vent near the front of the van. We put it near the kitchen galley just so we can get some good ventilation while we're cooking. But it'll also be good just to, keep the air flowing through the van. When we're not using the fan, we have this cover from Overland Gear Guide. It attaches with magnets, and we can just put it over the vent. And when we're driving, it'll keep some of the road noise out, and we'll also keep the light out. So I'll talk about our various different systems when we go back to the garage, but just to show the different control panels. So here we've got our inverter up top. This is for the Lithionics, lithium batteries. This is our Webasto heater, water heater, water pump right here, and then house light switch is right here. And this just sits right above the kitchen galley, above the lounge area, so pretty easy access. At the front of the van, we have the option of having a soft wall, really just to create a wall between the cabin and the back of the van. We have 3 different panels. These just unclip, will roll down, and they just zipper up. And having the 3 gives us some flexibility. We don't have to have all 3 closed, but at nighttime we'll close all 3. Will give us some privacy. In the morning it'll keep the light from coming into the van. So each of our windows has these shade coverings, which are pretty good. They are pretty much completely blackout when they're closed, and they just unbutton and you can just fold them down, and then they just snap into place. I won't do the whole thing, but you get the idea. Is, you know, you can bring them down and then they just snap in, and we'll put these up each night or during the day when we just want a little bit of privacy. But they're a really good solution for covering the windows. I'm not going to go into a ton of details, but that is our toilet. It's a Thetford porta potty. We've got it in a bag. It's strapped down right now. Still TBD if it's for daily use or emergency use only. Let's talk about the garage. There's a couple things going on in the garage. First off, we have our water system here and our lithium batteries over here. So our water system is behind this box. We've got a 20-gallon freshwater tank back there. We also have a connection here for our outdoor shower that'll give us hot and cold water. We can just plug our hose in here. There's a switch for a water pump, and we'll be able to set up a shower curtain here at the back to take showers if and when we need them. So on this side of the garage is our storage box for our lithium batteries. We went with a Lithionics battery system. There's 2 batteries in there that gives us a total of 630 amp hours. Also in there is a 2800 Magnum inverter. We've got a couple outlets here, some USB ports if we need to charge up here at the back of the van. We also went with a second alternator up in the engine. That allows the batteries to recharge while we're driving, and I've actually found that they charge pretty quickly when we're on the road. The rest of the garage is going to be for storage, and one of the cool things we have in here is a gear glider. This is rated for 500 pounds, so we're going to be able to get quite a bit of gear on it. It comes out quite far. The original thought is we'd put bikes on it, but when we thought about living in the van full time, we knew that we were going to need quite a bit of storage space, so we've opted to go no bikes for now. But we'll probably have this pretty loaded up with gear. We also have an onboard air compressor. It's an ARB compressor that's sitting up under the hood by the engine. We have 3 different connection points. One of them is back here at the garage. It's pretty cool. We can just take the hose here. We can just plug it right in, hit the switch, and we've got air. We can use that to air up and down the tires. We can use it for cleaning out dirt out of the van. So I think this is going to come in pretty handy. On the driver's side door, we've got a stuff sack, and we'll be able to put our air compressor hose in there, our shower hose, the hose we'll need to fill up the freshwater tank. So pretty good storage option. On the back of the door here, we have a MALLE panel, and I've got a shovel, an axe, and a couple bags for storage. Let's go do a walk around in the van and I can show you some of the stuff on the outside. For the wheels, we went with 17-inch Black Rhino Warlord wheels that are gunmetal. The tires are Falken Wild Peak all-terrain 265s. We went with an upgraded suspension system, and we're going with the Agile Rip Kit. We've really noticed a difference. It really does help with the sway and just provides for a bit of a more comfortable ride. On the top of the van, we've got a Packasport rooftop cargo box. It's about 16 cubic feet of storage, and so we'll be able to fit quite a bit of gear in there. We're expecting to put our camping gear and winter gear and stuff that we don't need on a regular basis. We have 2 different ladders to access the cargo box, one on the back and one on the side. We also have this bumper step that Outside Van made, which really makes it easy getting up on the ladder as well as up into the garage area. There's some great lighting on the outside of the van. 50-inch rigid light bar on the top of the front of the van. Rigid scene lights on the passenger side. Rigid lights on the back of the van. Amber colored fog lights on the front. So on the passenger side, we've got an awning there up top. It's just a manual crank. We wanted to avoid the electronic mechanical version. Just hoping that'd be one less thing that could break down. We're really excited about just the outdoor space that we're gonna be able to create. I've mentioned we're really hoping to spend a lot of time outside the van. We've got a nice big rug that we're gonna be able to put out here. I mentioned the awning. We also have this really fun table. So we can pull this out and set this up. We'll be able to use it for outdoor cooking, keeping stuff on when we're hanging out outside. So part of being outside is we've got to solve for this little thing. And so we've actually got two connection options for keeping her secured. We can hook her to a D-ring here. And then we also have an option to hook her down in this little cubby hole here. In the passenger side door, we have this bug screen from Roliff. And we can just unclip this, pull the zippers down. It'll keep the bugs out during the summer. And what's cool is it has this magnetic side, and so we can come and go pretty easily, and it'll just reattach. The other thing we had Outside Van do is just add this little partition, so we can roll this up, clip it in, and we'll have access to our table. Well, that's our van. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to follow along as we hit the road, hit that subscribe button. I'm going to be putting out videos about once a week, just highlighting our adventures, van life, my photography. So come along for the ride. If you have any questions about the van, about us, leave a comment and I'll be sure to get back to you. Well, that's it for now. We'll see you on the road, and may God bless you. Tilly, what do you think of that? And then we just got, you know, Tilly girl. Come on, come down here. Oh.